Industrial underwater welding, a profession fraught with extreme danger, has for decades operated in Italy within a regulatory void, leaving workers vulnerable and safety standards lax. How then did the Sicilian region manage to create an unprecedented legal framework that has not only stamped out undeclared work, but also guarantees the lives of its hyperbaric professionals?
It's quite a story, Maggie. For decades, industrial diving in Italy existed in what we might call a regulatory limbo. Nationally, the sector was governed by a ministerial decree from 1979, which was frankly obsolete given modern technological advancements. This created a fragmented and often dangerous environment for divers.
So, a 4-decade-old law was still trying to govern an industry that had evolved massively. That sounds like a recipe for disaster. What prompted Sicily to step in so decisively when the national government hadn't?
Precisely. In this vacuum, the Sicilian region took an extraordinary step. They enacted what we at CEDIFOP consider an act of legislative sovereignty and educational civility. Regional Law No. 7 of 2016 wasn't just a bureaucratic win, it was the legal instrument designed to eradicate undeclared work and, crucially, to safeguard divers' lives through the creation of the Telematic Registry of Industrial Diving.
That's a powerful claim, wiping out undeclared work and guaranteeing lives. How does this Sicilian legislative architecture actually function to achieve such ambitious goals? What are its foundations?
The system rests on 3 unshakable regulatory pillars. First, there's Regional Law No. 7 of 21st of April 2016. This is the primary act defining who can operate in industrial diving in Sicily and the mandatory safety criteria for hyperbaric construction sites. Second, Presidential Decree No. 31 of 7th of December 2018. This is the implementing regulation, which, in execution of Article 5 of the parent law, rigidly and in detail establishes the required training paths, hours and technical equipment for a course to be considered valid. And finally, DDG No. 999 of 17th of April 2019, which formally established the structure and operating procedures of the telematic registry itself.
So, a clear hierarchy of laws building on each other. Who oversees this registry? Given its importance, it must be a significant institutional body.
Indeed, the registry is managed directly by the Department of Labour, Employment, Orientation, Services and Training Activities of the Sicilian region. Specifically, the operational body responsible is Service VI, which coordinates employment centre services and various labour policies. This office holds the reins, presiding over rigorous control of registrations to ensure that the demand and supply in the hyperbaric sector operate in total legality.
And what exactly is this registry? Is it just a list? What does it require from divers wanting to work legally?
It's an official, public and binding telematic registry. Any industrial diver wishing to work legally in a non-port maritime construction site in Sicily must be registered. To register, self-certification simply isn't enough. You must demonstrate possession of training qualifications, regulated either by the state or the region.
That sounds incredibly strict. Does the system remain static, or is there ongoing refinement to keep pace with industry changes and worker protection needs?
It's a dynamic system, constantly updated to protect professionals. For instance, Decree No. 3173 of 24th October 2024 recently locked down the procedure for registration and variation in the registry. This measure formalised new, rigorous forms to request changes to one's position and professional level. It allows for a guided transition between qualifications like inshore, top-up or saturation levels, but it imposes stringent verification criteria.
Stringent criteria suggests they're not just letting anyone in. What are these specific requirements a diver must meet to update their status or even get registered?
They include possession of certificates compliant with international IDSA, that's International Diving Schools Association, standards, or IMCA guidelines. Divers must submit a countersigned professional logbook to prove bottom hours and diving shifts performed. Valid hyperbaric medical certifications and first aid certificates, like Diver Medic, are essential. And finally, the attachment of the Europass certificate supplement is required. This isn't bureaucracy slowing things down. It's a bureaucracy of excellence that protects the professional and rejects those who merely improvise.
So it effectively links professional competence to legal employment. This is where training must become crucial. How does this system integrate with the actual training of underwater welders?
This is where CEDIFOP's educational strategy comes in. In today's market, a simple underwater welding license from a private centre has no legal value if it's not part of a regulated training path. CEDIFOP has structured its courses so that specialisation in welding is strictly combined with obtaining the minimum professional qualification certificate of inshore diver, specifically IDSA Level 2. This certificate represents the minimum access standard required by regional law to operate in commercial construction sites up to 30 metres deep, directly corresponding to international IDSA parameters. Choosing this regulated path guarantees immediate registration in the telematic registry and inclusion in official employment lists, rejecting any do-it-yourself approach.
That makes CEDIFOP sound quite unique in Italy then. Beyond the Sicilian law, what other accreditations or recognition does CEDIFOP hold that establishes its standing nationally and internationally?
CEDIFOP is indeed unique in Italy for several reasons, evidenced by significant European and international awards. Firstly, it's included in the Vocational Excellence Registry of the European Commission, managed by the ETF. This means the European Union officially recognises CEDIFOP as a specialised institute providing comprehensive courses for underwater technical operations, structured to meet rigorous IMCA and IDSA criteria. Our qualifications, such as commercial diver in its various levels, are aligned with global parameters.
That's a substantial endorsement. What's the second key recognition?
Secondly, CEDIFOP's institutional transparency is certified by the European Union itself through its formal registration in the EU Transparency Register. This accredits us to dialogue directly with community institutions, actively participating in consultations and regulatory dynamics at a European level, demonstrating our commitment to ethics and integrity.
And the third recognition, linking back to the IDSA standards you mentioned earlier.
The third, and perhaps most critical, is CEDIFOP's status as a full member IDSA. We are not merely an affiliate. This means we are one of a very select few schools globally, currently 16 worldwide, and the only one in Italy, authorised to train students and directly issue official qualifications compliant with the highest international standards. This is a fundamental distinction from other IDSA categories.
What are these other IDSA categories? How do they differ from a full member status? And why is this distinction so important for someone considering a career in commercial diving?
It's vital to understand the hierarchy. Associate members are schools or institutes that have partial requirements. They can't independently certify divers to international commercial standards. You find these across Europe, the Americas, Asia, and Africa. Then there are industrial affiliate members, companies or entities linked to the diving industry, but they participate for networking or commercial purposes only, with no authority to conduct regulated teaching. These are concentrated in major maritime hubs globally. Lastly,
reciprocal membership applies to government agencies or national authorities who have mutual recognition agreements with IDSA, monitoring standards but not providing training themselves. These are found in countries like the UK, Canada, and Japan. The key is none of these other categories are authorised to deliver valid commercial courses or issue IDSA certifications for industrial divers.
So, while many entities might have some connection to IDSA, CEDIFOP's full member status, combined with its European accreditations and adherence to Sicilian law, creates a unique pathway for divers. It offers both legal coverage in Italy and genuine international recognition for their qualifications.
Precisely. In Italy, choosing CEDIFOP means relying on the only reality that combines the strictness of Sicilian Regional Law No. 7, 2016, with the highest levels of institutional, educational, and ethical accreditation demanded by the European Union and global hyperbaric industry standards. It's about ensuring safety and professionalism.
The Sicilian approach to regulating industrial diving really highlights how regional legislative initiative, coupled with rigorous training standards, can transform a hazardous profession into a secure and respected one. If you found this discussion illuminating, please share the episode with someone who would also appreciate it.